So as a shout out to my man, Danny Autry, for watching and following the videos, leaving some comments and asking some questions. He's another new pro thrower, and we try to bounce ideas off of each other to see what each other's doing to try to get better. If I get better and he gets better, when we compete against each other, it matters more. So he said he has some of the same problems I do, and that is lat mobility as well as T-spine mobility, and what are some things that I'm doing. So the biggest thing I have to do with this is time. I have to make myself do it and do it religiously to even see some sort of a gain from it. So the first one, I want to go through a couple different things that I'm doing, and I'm going to try to pick my brain and see some of the things I've done in the past and whatnot, and throw these in this video and kind of explain what I'm trying to accomplish with each one. The first one I got, and this is recent, and I've been doing this one more than probably any others, I got from physical therapist Noah Zakarko I'm seeing here, Fort Mill, South Carolina. And it's with a foam roller, and this is not going to work the T-spine. It's going to kind of stretch out my pec, which I have problems with my left external rotation bad, you'll see in this. It's going to work your pec, kind of your torso rotation, and your glute all at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate each side, obviously, but I'm going to lay with a foam roller with my arm in a 90-degree angle bent under the foam roller. My head's going to help hold that down. And then what I'm going to do is go straight up with this same side knee, rotate over, and I'm going to hook that hamstring and just let it fall and sit and hold right there. I've worked up to 3 minutes on each side, like continuously. And as I go along, like right now, my hand's off the ground over here, my left hand. It kind of relaxes a little bit more, that pec stretches out. Technically my internal rotators that are tight stretch out. This knee might drift more towards the ground over here as I kind of hook. What I want to do is kind of let gravity take control and let this just fall and rotate. So this is going to work both sides. Obviously, as I come, I'll switch to the other side, switch my hands, switch my knees, hook and let that fall and rotate. Like I said, holding up to 3 minutes each side. So another one I do for, this is all T-spine, is going to be in a warm-up. I kind of use this in warm-ups. Is kind of a band-assisted passive T-spine rotation. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm going to rotate up this way, I'm going to put the band around my elbow and kind of go over my back, so it's now hooked on my shoulder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down on my heels from an all-four position, sit down on my heels, and kind of try to anchor my lumbar, and I go down to my elbows, and then what I'm going to do is take my left hand on my ear here, I'm going to rotate up, and that band's going to help actively pull me, and I'll kind of pull back down against it. Pull that up, give myself a nice little hold, maybe a 5-count hold, pull back down. Rotating up, pulling back down. So like I said, I do this one kind of in a warm-up, a little bit different than if I do them just working here as high as I can myself. I'll sometimes even just get in all fours and reach with one arm as high as I can, and then reach with the other. And rotate through, and I'll sit in different positions. So I'll kind of sit on my heels, and now work the same thing. I'll feel the rotation a little bit different. I'll sit down to my forearms, do the same thing, rotate in different positions. Just trying to find movement. And the band assisted helps me get a little bit extra rotation because I feel like I'm pretty locked up. So kind of mix that one in my warm-ups mostly. The passive one with the foam roller, I'll tend to do just about any time I've kind of done it. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Now let's talk from a lat standpoint. One of the best things I've noticed right away, kind of immediate, is getting dry needle. Obviously, if you have that option, that just opens those. My shoulders move amazing after getting shoulder girdle, dry needle. So one of the other things that you can do that I see kind of pretty major improvement from, you sometimes need a friend for this one, is some sort of like pinching of the lat. Typically I use the like AccuMobility ball or a lacrosse ball on the ground, and then like some sort of boomstick or body tempering device, pinching that lat on either side of the lat. If I'm laying on my back and rotating that arm, but having that lat pinched, those killer. You find some killer spots, work through that. Can see some kind of immediate improvements for myself with that. And then I tend to go into some sort of stretch right after doing that. I mean, it's hard to beat a banded stretch with that. Throw your wrist through, reach through, grab the band, then stepping back, reaching back. And you can work all different angles here. I kind of like just exploring and finding, rotate my arm, come out, rotate the palm all the way up, reaching my hips back, kind of rotating. I'll sometimes take a knee, and just reaching and finding, contracting my lat, relaxing, twisting the torso, finding every which way that I can get that lat to find some stretch all the way down the side as far as I can. I use a pretty thick band and typically a taller rack than this to get a little bit more stretch. Another one I'll do, and it depends on the day, if I'm doing some Olympic weightlifting movements, you can always put your wrist through or your elbow through. And now I'm working this stretch here with this lat. I'm gonna turn my hand up, palm to the ceiling, and work that elbow, pull that elbow up towards the ceiling, kind of lean into it. Try not to let my ribs flare, but trying to keep my ribs down as I reach that back. Another thing you can kind of do with that, I can do the same thing, put that wrist back in it. It's gonna be a little bit different pull, maybe feel it a little bit more in the tricep there. I'll do these on Olympic lift days when I've got to get in that front rack position. Look, naturally it already goes up a little bit more, that little bit of stretching in it. I'll do that stuff. This is very simple stuff, but I'll hit this pre-workout, especially before cleans, to be able to get in that position, even getting overhead here. My left, naturally, it feels like my left just doesn't lock out because of restrictions and being beat up over the years from doing different things, probably a lot of bench press and stuff like that. One thing I do cut out as I get closer to these competitions is I cut out heavy benching and tightening down those internal rotators. I just don't see a lot of carryover to the stone put as I do with obviously getting better from the hips down. So I cut out a lot of heavy benching. If anything, I'm doing stuff that is speed benching, as well as with the lats. This year I may actually cut down lat work. I've had a goal this year to hit 20 strict bodyweight pull-ups, and things are getting really close. But if I keep training my lats and restricting the lats, will it allow me to really stretch? So, and very last piece to all this, one thing I've done is not as much as I've done a lot of this other stuff, is just some timed hangs. So just find that pull-up bar and hang in different grip positions, mixing up your grip positions and finding some hang time just to spend time in that full extension and getting some comfort there. So appreciate the questions, Danny. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys get something out of this. Another resource is literally YouTube, and I'm taking you away from my channel, Kelly Starrett, and just put in like mobility WOD and lat stretch, or mobility WOD lats. You'll find all kinds of different stuff, mobility WOD, front rack, T-spine. You can search all this stuff in YouTube and find, and just try stuff. Try and see if you get improvement from it. Do a test, retest, like with a flexibility. Like for me, how do my elbows go? Can I in a front rack get my fingers all on the barbell? So I know you guys don't like me rambling and making these videos super long, and this was already a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be. So try these out, let me know what you think, and if you like